Andy Roddick identifies Coco Gauff's superpower. The only who can do that. Andy Roddick thinks Coco Gauff has one superpower, and that's finding a way to win matches and titles when her game is far from ideal. Entering 2025, the 21-year-old has 2 Grand Slam titles under her belt, a WTA Finals crowd, and has been ranked multiple times at number 2 in the world. While Gauff has achieved massive success at a young age, it is not a secret that she has often struggled with her serve, specifically double faults. Also, the American's backhand has been questionable at times. Still, she has won a lot over the past couple of years. On the latest episode of his Served podcast for 2025, Roddick took a moment to give credit to Gauff for never shying away to get uncomfortable on the court and win ugly when things aren't going right. The 2003 U.S. Open champion also stated that the current world number 3 is probably the only player in the game who can have 20-plus double faults in a match and still end on the winning side. Roddick, to win consistently under such tough circumstances is Gauff's superpower. To go through things that are physically and mentally not working and to get through it and win consistently is a superpower. There is no world where anyone else on Earth can be dealing with 20 or 25 double faults, and we are looking up and at scale, not for a tournament. Every year she is 2 in the world, 3 in the world. She does not leave those positions, Roddick said on his podcast. It does not matter how much we see her struggle. We have to give credit where credit is due for Coco at some point. To go through things that are physically and mentally not working and to get through it and win consistently is a superpower. If the losses are ugly, I don't care. She is the best in the world at being uncomfortable on a given day and getting a win. In August, Gauff hired Gavin McMillan, the same biomechanics expert who famously fixed Aryna Sabalenka's serve in 2022. Gauff showed some improvement on her serve already in late 2025, but the real impact is expected to be seen at the start of 2026 after she and McMillan concluded their first off-season together. There is a moment in tennis when the crowd goes quiet, not because the point is over, but because something unusual is about to happen. Andy Roddick knows that moment well. He lived in it for years, pacing behind the baseline, ball tucked into his pocket, crowd waiting for a serve that felt like thunder paused in midair. When Roddick talks about Coco Gauff, he talks about that moment, the space between expectation and reality, and he calls it her superpower. Not speed. Not strength. Not even her forehand, which already bites like it knows where the line is before the ball leaves the strings. Her superpower, Roddick says, is something rare. She grows while the world is watching. Most players hide their evolution. They disappear for a season, rework a stroke, change a mindset, then return as something sharper. Coco Gauff never had that luxury. She grew up on center courts, under floodlights, under headlines that called her the future, before she was old enough to drive. Andy Roddick understands pressure. He understands what it means to be labeled early, loudly, and permanently. But even he admits that what Gauff carries is heavier, expectation in the age of social media, where every miss becomes a clip and every win becomes a demand for more, and yet, she adapts in public. That, Roddick says, is the thing only she can do. The weight of being early. Coco Gauff didn't knock on tennis's door. She kicked it open. At 15, she beat Venus Williams at Wimbledon, and the sport inhaled sharply. From that moment on, Coco was never just a teenager playing tennis. She was a symbol, a promise, a projection. Every match came with questions she didn't ask for. Is she ready? Is this too much? Will she burn out? Many players fold under that kind of attention. Some harden. Some disappear. Coco did something different. She listened, filtered, and kept moving forward. Andy Roddick once said that talent gets you noticed, but emotional processing keeps you alive at the top. Coco learned that lesson in real time, with cameras rolling. Her losses were dissected. Her technique was debated. Her forehand grip, her serve motion, her patience, everything was on trial. And instead of shrinking, she adjusted. Not all at once. Not perfectly. But honestly, that's her superpower. Learning without hiding. Roddick has pointed out something subtle about Coco Gauff that doesn't show up in stat sheets. She changes between matches, not between seasons. If something fails on a Tuesday, it looks different by Thursday. If a pattern gets exposed in one tournament, it's patched by the next. She doesn't pretend weaknesses don't exist. She addresses them out loud, with her team, with her game, sometimes even with her body language. That kind of growth requires courage. Because improving in public means accepting embarrassment. It means letting the world see you struggle with a serve toss, a forehand timing issue, or a tactical mistake, and trusting yourself enough to fix it anyway. Andy Roddick knows how rare that is. He knows how tempting it is to defend your identity as a player instead of evolving it. Coco doesn't cling to who she was. She commits to who she's becoming, and that commitment is loud. The superpower isn't the shot. It's the mind. When Roddick calls Coco's ability a superpower, he isn't talking about athleticism alone. Plenty of players are fast. Plenty hit hard. Plenty defend like walls. Coco's difference lies in emotional elasticity. She loses big matches and returns with clarity. She wins huge titles and stays curious. She hears criticism and extracts usefulness instead of resentment. That elasticity allows her to carry pressure without letting it calcify her game. Roddick has said that the hardest thing in tennis isn't learning how to win, it's learning how to lose without letting it define you. Coco does that better than most adults twice her age. She doesn't rush the narrative. She doesn't panic when timelines don't match expectations. She understands, instinctively or intentionally, that greatness is not a straight line, it's a series of informed corrections. Only a few players ever figure that out. Fewer do it before they turn 20. The only one who can do that. Andy Roddick isn't saying Coco Gauff is the only talented player on tour. He's saying she's the only one who can carry her specific load and still grow. She plays with the expectation of a champion, the scrutiny of a global audience, the responsibility of representation, the normal chaos of youth. And she still finds space to improve. That's not normal. That's not teachable. That's not something a coach can install like a grip changed. That's a superpower. It's the ability to stay porous, open to learning, when the world wants to freeze you into a finished product.